No matter how many multi-effects processors are out there, at some point, you're gonna wanna integrate your favorite pedals and effects with that processor. And in today's video, I'm gonna show you how to do that with the Hot Tone Ampero 2 Stomp. But before we get to it, take a second, click on that subscribe button down there, give me a thumbs up, help my video rank in the YouTube algorithm so I can make more content for you. Now, while most multi-effects processors have an effects send and return, or an effects loop as it'll also be called, the way that the Ampero 2 Stomp does it is a little different. And I'm gonna show you what I mean in just a second. But let's first start by connecting a pedal to the Ampero 2 Stomp send and return. On the right, we have the Ampero 2 Stomp. On the left, we have a NUX Atlantic delay and reverb. And on the left-hand side of the Ampero 2 Stomp, we have the effects send and return. So it's very simple. The send is your output, the return is your input. So you would want to send the signal to the input of the external pedal. So it's going to go into the input of the Atlantic. The output of the Atlantic is going to be routed back to the effects return here on the side where it's plugged into the return. So at this point, if we had everything set up inside of the Ampero, if I hit the reverb button and turn it on, you should hear something. However, in this case, I haven't set it up yet because I need to show you how that's done, and I'm going to show you that from the Ampero Control app. Personally, I find that setting up and modifying an effects loop inside of the Ampero 2 Stomp is a lot easier with the app. You might feel differently about it, but it's okay. You can do it from the Ampero, or you can do it right from the app. I've created an instance of the effects loop here at the end of the signal chain. And as you can see, you have a choice in your type between mono left, mono right, or stereo. To the right of that, you have your send level and your return level. This is where you can choose how much signal you want to send to the effect and how much you want of the effect to be returned in. And then, of course, you have your mix parameters. So with this setting here, with these three settings, I get a nice sound. So if I play something right now, it's bone dry. But if I turn on the module now, and now I get all of the access to everything that the Atlantic can do. So I can turn on the delay if I want to, or I could just simply activate another delay like the one I've got here inside of the Ampero 2 Stomp. Now, this is one way that you can use an effects loop inside of the Ampero 2. Another way is by using the individual send and return as individual modules. Let's check that out. Now, here's where it gets interesting. In this patch, what I've done is I've created an instance of the effects loop, as I just showed you a second ago, so we don't need to rehash that one out. But what I've also done is I've created an instance of the effects send by itself and the effects return by itself. So if I go into the effects send, you can see that I've got the same parameters as before: mono left, mono right, stereo, send level, and then another parameter called through level. So I'll tell you what that's about in just a second. But if I turn on that effects send at this point, we're not hearing anything yet. That's because everything that's going through the Ampero up to that point is then going to the Atlantic. So if we want to hear it come back, just go to the effects return, turn that module on, and now we hear it, but it sounds like it's in a washing machine or in the Grand Canyon because it's completely 100% processed by the Atlantic. If we want to introduce some dry signal, go back to the effects send and then use that through level knob and introduce some dry signal. Now we have our effects send and return. Now, you're probably asking the question, why is this important? Why would I care about this? Well, it's really simple. If you go to the delay here and turn this on, what I've done is I've created the effects send, then the delay, then the return. So if I turn the mix of the delay all the way up and I play just something very quick, what I want you to do is make sure you put on a pair of headphones to hear this. The delay echoes are not being affected by the Atlantic. So essentially, we have two different signals that are going through the signal path here. So this is kind of cool because now you have a a delay that's completely unaffected by the Atlantic, and you could then put other effects in between the effects send and return. And essentially, you can create a really interesting soundscape if you want to. Now, if I turn off the effects send and return individually and turn the master one back on, you're going to hear everything being processed by the Atlantic. So that was before. Now you want to make sure you turn off the effects loop before you turn on the individuals. See, so it's totally different, and at that point you could do some really interesting routing options with it. This is, of course, just scratching the surface of what's possible with the send and return. So if you want to see me do more videos on this particular topic, use the comment section below. If I get enough requests, I will absolutely shoot some more content that'll show you some really advanced routing options that you can do with the effects send and return. But until then, we'll see you in the next video.
Well, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any further questions, be sure to visit us at thepedalguide.com. But in the meantime, follow us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and also be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for weekly videos and tutorials. Thanks for stopping by here at thepedalguide.com, where I love pedals and so do you.